Kids are messy, and there's no handbooks or no manuals.
I can laugh at the fact that I thought that I could keep a showcase clean home. No, you cannot nail Jell-O to a tree. Doesn't happen.
And I find that in moments of seriousness, sometimes the best thing to do is laugh about it.
What makes me laugh as a mom is the blooper reel. You know, when you watch a DVD and you get to the end and you watch the bonus, you know, all of those misuses of words or the stumbles or the entrance at just the wrong time. Those are the things that make me laugh even now.
But what made me laugh when I think back is every once in a while, I would get hit with the ludicrousness that I was a mom. I would get hit with this reality that he's trusted me with these 3 precious, albeit very unique souls. And I would giggle. So I find it just so extremely delightful that I was a mom. And I've got stories. And when COVID's not all done, maybe we can have tea and talk about them.
As a single mom, I want to say happy Mother's Day to all mothers, and especially the single mothers right now. This is not always the easiest day for us, but it is a good day because we have children and we love them and they love us.
Something that has given me hope as a mom. Focus on little victories and focus on the positive. God, in all honesty, has been a really generous father. In my most trying times as a parent, he's been the one that I've been able to go back to and kind of look for guidance.
What gives me hope as a mom is that God loves my kids more than I do. I love my kids a lot, but He loves them even more, and God will provide help in the form of friends or podcasts or any type of help that you might need. Maybe it's a radio broadcast, maybe it's a song, but that help is there to get you through on the good days and the bad days.
What gives me hope as a mom is definitely God's grace and knowing that I'm not doing this by myself. Even though there are days that are horrible and I just think I'm the worst mom and my kids probably hate me, by the end of the day, they're crawling on me or they're following me around the house, and they quickly forgive. And so I just believe that that's God's way of showing me that that He loves me and that I'm not in this alone. And it does. It gives me hope. The next day, the kids never remember. So we can be pretty hard on ourselves sometimes, but yeah, that gives me hope.
I remember going to church and kneeling down at the altar, and this wonderful lady gave me a word, and I don't remember the word. I know it was wonderful and encouraging, but the one thing I remember was she said to me, Jesus is your all-sufficiency. And that's what I took home, and I have never forgotten that. And I decided to believe it and hold Him to that. And there were definitely times when I would say, Jesus, you said you're all my all-sufficiency, and this is what I need. So how are you gonna do this for me?
Or what could I give that would encourage the moms of today? Oh, moms of today are in such a different situation, especially right now today, like the right now. COVID-19 has made so much so different. But there are a couple of things that stand out in my mind, and I'll try to be brief. A lot of times I went on autopilot as a mom with a husband that was as busy as mine was, and 3 very, very active children, young adults, and then college students, a lot of times autopilot happened. And I'm ashamed to say, I would hear their words, but I didn't always listen to their heart. And that sounds so simple and in some ways almost trite, but it wasn't. I would hear their mouth telling me words. And in my autopilot, I might think, file that away for future reference, warning, pay attention to that, go back to that. But I didn't actually hear their heart. So one of the things I would do would be stop and listen to their heart.
Little humans are mysteries, and not one of them is the same. So take your time, be patient, be very patient. It's not a sprint. It really isn't. It's a marathon.
I knew I didn't want to be that nagging mom. And my husband had already pointed out that I need to pick my fight, that I was going to pick with my kids, that was going to be worth ruining the day over. Was it making the bed? Was it eating everything on your plate? Like, pick your fight. And that tied into this whole thing of 3 simple guidelines. God kind of peeled away all these layers of legalism and I'm the parent and because I said so and all of these things. And he said, it's like this. If it's not biblically immoral. Now, we're not talking Old Testament, strict legal, biblical immoral, like I'm going to stone you because you continued to lie. Not that kind of biblically immoral. But integrous, if it had the tendency to want to veer off into sin in it. So if it was biblically moral, if it wasn't illegal according to the land's laws, and it wasn't permanent, we could have a discussion about it and you wouldn't get an automatic no. And there's a really good chance you'd get to do it. And probably if I could start now with just those 3 guidelines, if it's not immoral, if it's not illegal, and if it's not permanent, let's talk about it then. Especially to grown or, older children. Like, you can't ask a 2-year-old some of those things. Like, we're talking 10 or so. And that's when all the fights wanted to start for us, when they hit about their double digits. But once I got that tool in my tool belt, if it's not immoral, if it's not illegal, and it's not permanent, there's a really good chance we can have a good discussion about this. It made life so much simpler.
Biggest part of my advice would be chocolate. Hide it in your car. Give yourself a time out in the car. Eat the chocolate. Trust me on this one.
What encouragement I would give, we were talking with these questions as a family over supper one night, and my youngest says, to answer this question, I love you. And I think that is the biggest encouragement. And when you're in the trenches, day in and day out, is you are loved, you are seen, you are not forgotten. You are doing the greatest thing ever. And you are influencing the next generation, and you matter, and you're loved.
I want to bless you with the awareness of the all-sufficiency of Jesus in your life. And I want to just bless you with the knowledge that he is for you. You are not alone. You're not in this alone. His wisdom is with you. You can pull on it. You can ask for it. It's free for all that ask. He is your safe tower. He is your comfort. You can run into him and he will never leave you. I want you to know that you're loved and taken care of, and he is your all-sufficiency in all things. So God bless you.